I've uploaded the article for the British Association of Counselling and Psychotherapy on generational trauma that was the product of the conference that I spoke at in December 2024 for the spirituality division. A little sort of overview of what the article is about is that the title is Generational Trauma. And within the context of living in Aotearoa, New Zealand, I use the Te Whare Tapawhā model, which is the four-sided house. And that's a sort of mainstream health or Haora model for specifically for working with Māori, but it's relevant to everyone, arguably. It has four sides: Wairoa, which is the spirit; Tinana, which is the body; Hinengaro is mind and emotions; and Whānau is family, social relationships. So what I'm doing in this article as a result of that presentation is looking at some of the evidence from quantum physics, which tells us that there's an implicate order, which is a sort of state of potentiality. And then when that becomes, one word for it is collapsed, or another word for it is unfolded. So it becomes explicate, and they're David Bohm's terms. So within that framework, there's a connectedness of all of us, and that's where it sort of applies to what we're doing in therapy, is that instead of thinking of myself as separate from the person I might be having a conversation with, if I understand the connectedness of all of humanity with all of nature, with all of everything, then I don't think of myself as separate from the other, although that is obviously part of our experience. We are actually at a much deeper level connected. As Jung talked about, there's a collective unconscious, which is like a kind of a mind that we all are able to connect into, a consciousness that is holding all of the information and the knowledge of all people from all time. And so our mind, therefore, is not the producer of consciousness, but it's more like a receiver of consciousness, of frequencies that we are vibrating in that particular state. So there are two things that are specific to this article. One is a little bit of an introduction to the river metaphor of spirituality. Lots more on that in the new book that will be coming out this year with myself and Dominic Chilvers from Ada University in Christchurch. And that'll be about engaging in spiritual conversations with clients in health and social care situations. And so we talk a lot about using the river metaphor, because we don't want to talk about spirituality in sort of hierarchical terms. And so the river metaphor helps us to think about how different phases and stages of our life might affect our way of thinking about spirituality and our belief system differently. There might be turbulent times, there might be more kind of wide, easy times. So there's a little bit about that metaphor that can be used quite helpfully with clients or for yourself. And the other thing is a bit of an introduction to Ho'oponopono, which is Hawaiian approach to connection and healing. It's basically a prayer consisting of four components, which is I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. So I touch on that just as an example of a way to think about responding to the connectedness that we have, rather than subject-object. We're subject-subject, experiencing ourselves as subject-object. And so within that framework, as practitioners, what is coming up is this idea that when we notice something in ourselves in an interaction with a client, we do some work to heal that, to forgive ourselves, to move beyond that. And in healing ourselves, we are healing the other because of the connectedness that we have. And so how this all links to generational trauma is the bigger picture of the connectedness. So the more similar we are, if you look into Rupert Sheldrake's work on morphic resonance, the more similar we are, the more likely we are to sort of learn from or be influenced by people who are currently living or have been living in the past in terms of our ancestors. So Ho'oponopono, I'm just giving you a little taster of some of the ideas in there, and there's some more references in the article if you want to explore that a bit further. Great, thanks.